call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. I guess, Matt, you're the guy that we need to talk to. To go ahead and try to clear this up, from the last time you was up here, you told us that budget, we had to hire somebody, am I correct?
Well, the budget just can't go down.
Well, no, but on that position, wasn't that the understanding when they made a cut in the budget?
Ultimately, it would almost have to include the second staff person,
All right.
because that's the majority of the budget. I'm not sure how you would come up with $40,000 to spend it otherwise.
But before we go any farther, because I'm the one catching all the heat on this. I ain't said that about shutting the library down. I don't know where all that comes from. But I will move on to this. Em had to talk to a guy, I guess it might be your boss. He said that we don't have to hire, we can do what you want to once that money's in the budget.
It's got to be spent for the library.
I agree with you, but it don't just have to be for staffing.
True.
Okay, that's all they need to know.
But it's got to be an actual operating budget that you use.
Right. I don't have a problem with that, and that's like on the library part, if it's training, if she don't report nothing, the council, I don't understand what the library, the board says she don't have the right training. Whatever, have you ever been asked about any training? Like I said, I'm always on the chocolate block. But if we don't, the waivers, what I was kind of waiting on, because we was gonna see what we spent that year. I believe we spent $66,000. Caribou dropped hers to $70,000. Their budget, nothing was said. So you got, go ahead.
Well, Caribou's a different situation, and they apparently included some one-time capital expenses in their appropriation, so they were allowed to decrease their budget.
But in the help of the library, we had two people help her. Like I say, I told the ladies here on the library board, if any of them want to work, to fill in, that not as a volunteer, but as a paid position, we hire, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but we don't want to pay two full-time people to just sit there and look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of downtime. And Yatha, how many people is on your report I had you before, how many people have been in there? The last few days.
In the last few days, Monday I had 37 people come in, today I had 15.
All right, without the city, how many people was there?
15.
That was the thing from the start, because if there's gonna be that many out of the county, we would ask the county for some more money to help us. They ask for our help when it comes to trash, ask for trash issues, they want us to pay. So that was the whole point. So this board right here, they'll tell you the same thing. This is a city library, not a county library.
It's an unusual hybrid. It's an unusual hybrid.
But I don't have a problem, and this council does. If they can put the money in that budget, if it goes for other stuff in that library rather than just salaries. If they want to have stuff for these kids, they don't have a problem, but they just, what we're saying, not this lady, they can say whatever they want. I have to hold the meeting because they think I control this board for some reason. But back to it. If the library wants to do the weekend stuff, call somebody in to help her, I can help if she has to lock the door by herself. She wanted to do that. That was her schedule. That's what she asked for.
I think the biggest thing is all the libraries have 2 employees, and it's hard for a library to operate just alone. There are a lot of more things that could happen at the library that would bring in traffic. A lot of people don't even know all the services that could be available.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There needs to be stuff done. That's like the police chief. If he don't come to this board and tell us in the meeting first of the month, we don't know nothing about it. This ain't a full-time position. people thinks the mayor of Jacksboro draws $100,000 a year. No, it's, about $500 a month. It's a part-time, it ain't none of these people's full-time. And you know, you're not in here every day. But here's the council, and they tell you, when you come in, you see 3 or 4 people in the library.
And it could be a lot more if things were,
Well,
and it definitely can't improve without.
well, what can we do?
Without more
What can we
staff.
do to improve it?
More, well, Vicki just showed you the email from Cora, which she wasn't able to be here tonight. But she just listed a plethora of things that could happen, and that happened at other libraries, but that don't really
Well,
happen here.
Back to, so is the, what you're saying, the library, as a library board, just like the council, the answer, is the library not doing their job? Is that what you all are saying?
I don't think it's that we're saying Gaitha's not doing her job.
Well,
I think
can we
what
do
we're
to
trying
improve
to understand and have you understand is that much more could be done in the library if Gaitha had help. Carable, Angelico, and La Folla are able to host their summer reading programs, Lego clubs, book clubs, tutoring, voter license courses because they have aid in the library. I know that there's not a lot of foot traffic in the library currently, but that is because Gaitha is doing things alone and cannot offer all those services while she's trying to operate the library by herself.
Well, what, we told her she could call people in when she's doing it. I don't know why they're not being called.
Be more specific, what do you mean call people in? Like somebody that's specifically
Janine
allocated to
called in.
help Gaitha when she calls them?
Yeah, there's Dan here, there's Lane's over here, if they need help. I mean, I don't know what's the issue?
I know just from experience with Carable Library, it takes months of preparation for their summer reading program. They spend countless hours getting, donations from companies for their prizes, setting up all of their activities, coordinating all of their guest speakers. These things can't just be done in one afternoon with a few hours of help from somebody down the hall.
Well, if she don't tell us, that's why I'm getting back. I don't know what to do. And I'm sure this board don't know. You can ask each one of them people right here what they think.
I'll tell you, I've been hearing rumors. I don't know who this lady that got all this stuff started. I have never heard the mayor say he wanted to close the library. That's a bunch of lies. That's a lie. Never. And if he did, he'd be on that report too. Never.
Well, I don't understand the money that we kept in that position to try to do more stuff at that library. It freed up a lot more money than $5,000 that was given from the state. That's the whole point. And Matt, when you first came, we'll pull the tape. We can pull the tape from here. I asked you, you said we need to hire. La Folla, Jacksboro is 2.2 miles of this city. La Folla's a lot bigger. They've got a lot more people coming in. Carroll does. They've got one and a part. But for some reason, they want 2 full-time employees here in Jacksboro Library. Is that what you were saying?
No, we're not saying that you have to have an additional full-time
Okay.
employee, but a permanent part-time employee would be helpful.
Well, okay, the board knows that now. I mean, and this, like, Carol, I believe that, well, they got some, even extra people. If there's anybody out here wants to work at that library, give her your name, and they'll let you come in whenever, or volunteer, whatever you're gonna do. It ain't, nobody's against this library. I don't know why everybody's getting that.
This-
I don't know if it's social media or what. We're just trying to make it what they got. We don't have a city tax here. There's no kind of. La Folla's got city tax. Carroll, I don't know what Carroll is. That's nothing to me. But if this library board wants to come to the meeting, if you can get her some training, tell us what to do, I assure you we'll do it. But
Mayor Green, I don't know, this may be addressed to Matthew, but it's my understanding that if that MOE is not met, and if it's not signed, that maintenance of effort, then the regional library will come in and take the things that belong
we
to the
can correct,
regional.
we can correct that from the information she got today. Who was it? Mr. Reader, do you know him? Do you know Mr. Reader?
And what did he say?
He said, we could put the money in there. That
For the
don't mean
library.
That don't mean you have to hire a full-time employee. Now, is your boss wrong?
But you've got to spend it.
Well, oh, you can spend
Spend it for the library.
it.
It has to be spent
Yes,
for the
yes.
library.
I don't have a problem with that. That was the whole thing, rather, but it, just sit down, oh, you gotta hire somebody back to Dan's place. She just didn't tell me a part-time.
At the first meeting that we came to, Mayor,
Yes.
you let us know that it was more important either to hire a fireman or either to hire a policeman
Yes.
than it was to
Yes.
spend money in the library.
At that time, yes, at that time, this year, we did buy another police vehicle. That's been budgeted every year.
But that was the response that we
Yes.
got as a library
Yeah.
board.
Well, at that time, that was the response because you was paying $100,000 for 2 people in the library. All the money was going to salaries. Can't you see that?
Well, no, I've never seen your budget.
He knows what it is.
If you don't mind it being spent, why do you mind it being spent on another staff person?
Because there's no need for it.
But an additional staff member will create a need.
Do what?
An additional
Did you
staff
go to
member.
Carroll and tell them to hire another full-time employee? Or are you harassing the city? Did you recommend them to hire another full-time employee in Carroll?
No,
Well, why do you keep mentioning
you had a budget, you had two
here? Yeah, we
people.
got a budget.
You cut the budget, you
Yeah.
cut a person and cut the budget. That's,
So that's what we're saying. We don't have, we can put this money back toward the budget. But if she wants to do programs, buy stuff from that library, a part-time employee like this young lady here, we'll do that. But no, we're not putting all that money for two jobs. And your boss said we didn't have to, according to him. She talked.
You said the MOE had to be met,
We can make it.
but it didn't necessarily have to be in personnel.
no, not necessarily, but to make up all of that in programming would be very,
If the library had more usage, you know, if more people started coming to the library, then you'd have more of a reason to hire somebody else. You would need more people.
But if you have somebody hired, then they can make a plan on what to do, and she has somebody to bounce ideas off of, and to make a plan, then more people will come in.
That's her job.
I agree, but she can't do it by herself.
Well,
She's gotta come and tell us, she don't ever tell us
We don't-
nothing.
We don't, she's the employee, you're not the employee, first of all. You're a library advisory board.
That's right.
If the police chief don't come in here and ask and tell us what he needs, what are we supposed to do? Wait for the county commission to come over here and tell us?
I'm just saying that it would be good if she had somebody that she could have ideas with and come up with a
Well,
plan.
why don't you attend for your library board?
We do help.
Okay. But no, we're not hiring another fool. We'll meet the MOE, just like this lady here said, we'll be compatible with these other cities. If she had come and say she needs a part-time employee, she's gonna have to ask, not you.
So,
We'll work at that, but we're not paying all that when you can use that money to do other stuff.
if she used that money and she bought lots and lots and lots and lots of materials and had them all over the library, but didn't have anybody to help her when people came in to use them,
I just told you, we didn't hire a part-time person. Michael thought it terrible. Why are we any different? Did you do this, did you recommend all this to Carol?
They're not in violation of not meeting their
We're
MOU.
gonna meet the MOA, but my whole point is, did you recommend them to have 2 full-time employees, like you keep sitting here and telling them?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
they
it is
did.
recommended that they
But
have
they
at least
didn't
a
do it.
part-time employee in addition to their full-time librarian.
So you're saying, she didn't say a full-time, that was a full-time position we cut.
Just
nobody
additional
said,
help.
said
You're the
full-time.
one that said that.
Yeah, that was a full-time position we cut.
It was,
We
you
keep
did
saying
cut it.
Use the money.
We've heard.
Am I missing something here, or did you say
Yeah,
we?
yeah, this is-
So you want Gaitha, you want Miss Doherty to ask for a part-time
And she-
employee?
If they're doing so,
For
rather.
how many hours a day do you need them, Gaitha?
I wouldn't need somebody every day, that's just it.
Okay, how many
Now
hours
what
per
am I
week?
supposed to do?
If I could have somebody once a week, that'd be fine.
Once a week?
Yeah.
One done, one full day?
I mean,
So you'd only have a program one day a week for the whole community?
I don't have any children coming in.
You won't.
That's just, we have something going on.
We have to put forth the effort.
Can I say something?
Please, Linda, go
Excuse me,
ahead.
can I say something? I grew up in a small community, and the library meant a lot to me. And this kind of bothers me that these kids aren't getting what they need. And I know you're saying you're not, responsible for this, but we can fix this.
that's what I'm trying to do.
And if you hired somebody part-time, 20 hours a week, 3 days a week, have a program for these kids, because they have nothing. They have nothing here. And it bothers me to think that this is going on.
Well, trust me,
And we can fix it, but we just have to make decisions instead of going back and forth from meeting to meeting and say, okay, let's do part-time, 20 hours a week. Get some volunteers to help organize it, people that are good at doing this kind of stuff, and bring something to these kids, because I would not be where I'm at today if it was not for my library as a little girl. It meant a world to me. It changed my life.
Well, I appreciate your input, but it's like, do you need a part-time guy? How often you want somebody?
Well, like I said, I don't have any kids coming in. The parents don't want to bring their kids into Jacksboro Library. I think because it's mainly used for the computers. I would love to have more kids come into the library, but parents don't bring their kids to Jacksboro Library.
bring them to.
I think as a parent here with young children, I'd love to say that part of the reason that I've heard is sort of which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
Are you gonna hire someone and create programs and awareness, because a lot of folks don't even know it exists? And you need somebody at least part-time dedicated to that position to make that happen? Or are you gonna overwhelm yourself in trying to make that awareness and those programs happen to bring people in? And in this instance, to have that organization, to have that refinement, to have that ability to move forward in such a way that the parents are aware and the parents are encouraged and feel welcome to bring their kids in, because there isn't all of this combativeness and there's a unified front, then you're gonna need somebody there to make that happen. So
You sound pretty knowledgeable, I agree with you, but right back from day one with the money, I'm talking money. There was, now you think about this, there's 100,000, what was it, 100,000 a year roughly? We cut it, that was 50,000. The state gives us about 5,000 a month. All right, that leaves probably, say 45, 50,000. Well, you pay a part-time personnel. You'd rather have that other 30 or 40 to go back toward the library for kids, like you're saying. Don't that make more sense?
So you're saying 50,000 a year, and you're saying, would I rather have 30,000 go back into the library?
From
And
a
then
year.
that would leave 20,000 for the part-time
Yeah.
employee?
Does that make any sense?
I mean, I think,
Does that,
I feel like,
5,000 a month?
I feel like in order to gain the momentum to actually, I just feel like, again, it's the chicken before the egg, or the egg before, which comes first.
Right, but what I'm saying is financial.
Yes.
Does that sound like don't that make more sense?
Is
Or are
there-
you saying basically pay out 100,000 a year in salaries and get 5,000 from the state?
Nobody, I feel like that's not, I feel like that's not the
Okay,
option.
but that's what I'm saying. If you, the way with a part-time, that frees up more money for the city to put in the library.
I feel like there's a very good
option that would be a fairly middle ground. There might be a little bit of sacrifice for material or resource at first, but then again, you would have somebody to provide refinement towards programs to make sure that they're concise and efficient,
All right.
that you're using funds efficiently.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, you want this money for a part-time employee, okay? She said she needed just 1 week, 1 person to come in and help you. You just said that.
I know she said.
She's saying that, and then
Well, don't
following
blame me
it,
with it.
she's
I
saying it and
know
then
what
following
she
it
needs. You can't just,
immediately.
pull something out of
I
the air.
understand, sir, she's saying that and then immediately proceeding her statement with, because no kids come in.
Exactly.
We'll have 20,000, that was the whole point, to recruit kids.
20,000 to recruit kids?
To do things. We're only getting 5,000 a month, ain't it, or 7,000 from the state?
The state,
Well, maybe we need some volunteers to come and help.
That's what I'm talking
Get
about.
these
I don't,
programs started.
let's just say this, well, hard. I don't like going against a department head, just like Daniel or her, but she said 1 a week. We'll go ahead and hire somebody 1 day a week that knows, can help her do this. I mean, what else we gonna do?
I don't think that she understands how much she needs.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
not-
You've got one person working the library. They cannot do any programming because they have to check people in and out and do that kind of stuff. You have to have a person that can run a program separate from the librarian. Because that's a 2-person job, but whether it's 20 hours a week or whatever, but you have to have a second person because you can't have a kids program. I mean, would you send kids when there's one person watching them and also managing the library? You can't do that. You have to have a second person.
That's what I just said, a second person.
Right.
Part-time.
But 1 day a
Part-time.
week is not
Yeah,
gonna cut it.
I don't,
She doesn't have any kids now because she doesn't have programming. She doesn't have the time to do programming.
can you program if you have another person? You told me the other day the state didn't require us to do this program. I don't know. I don't know.
If you're not familiar with kids' programs and, how much
Well,
help
I'm
is
not a
needed.
librarian, but I'd be
Yeah.
more willing to try to figure out.
And this person in between doing programs could be reaching out to schools and partnering with schools when I remember when I was a kid that, the library had a connection with the school and had these programs that they partnered with the school, and so they advertised about them and the schools were aware of them. And they worked really, really wonderful,
Well, I mean,
bringing people in.
Anything you think, but all I'm saying is, with this part-time position, this money we're talking about. Well, okay, say, we'll hire a part-time person, maybe for 20 hours a week, right? It ain't a full-time no more. That frees up more money for that library. That's what I'm trying to say. Not saying not hire nobody. All right, we'll go ahead and go against this department and take applications for a part-time librarian, right? Ain't that, you said we
I
could
think
make
that the board, am I right, would the board put out a thing for a part-time librarian? Is it the board's job or is it their job?
Director's,
The director?
Who is that?
That's gay.
But if we can't make her, well, we can make her, what we're gonna do, we're gonna hire a part-time position, put that in the budget, and we'll go from there, I guess. And that, all right, then the money we have retaining from that full-time, they'll have money to do this programming with, is what I'm trying to say.
That's a perfect solution for
That's,
the
all
time
right, I'm
being.
glad you finally agree, that's my whole point for the last 2 years.
Mayor Green, you need to hire this person, in my opinion, and in your posting, it needs to say, with the intent to create children's programs.
Yes.
Also,
At a
I
local
do
library.
want to make sure as well, because libraries are not just for children. You've got people who are desperately trying to find work and don't have internet because they can't afford it. So they come to the library. You could host little job fairs here. The library is one of the most imperative resource warehouses for ages of all kind, not just children. So programming children and otherwise, in my personal opinion, I think that would
But
be
see,
very.
the way they started, here's the way I look at it, not the way he looks at it, not the way Gene or Greg. This is the way I look at it. There was, almost say 90,000 in salaries in the library when Dan and Jacob Oates was working there, right? Now, we're putting that money back, right? A portion of that's gonna go for a part-time employee, just like the other cities. We're gonna be competitive and do kind of, just like we do it. All right, now them salaries has been paid at the end of the year, am I right? There's gonna be money remaining there if something happens in that library, you've got money to do with it, rather than saying, well, we'll get 5,000 from the state or 6,000 next year. That's been since day one. But Matt, your buddy Matt, nothing toward you, you told me that position need to be filled, and if I have to, I'll go get the tape and we'll play it for it. We'll dig it out.
I think my point was,
That wasn't your point, that's what you told me, and these people right here heard you too. Until we talked to your boss about it up. I make a motion that we're going to appropriate the money back to the library, but not as another full-time position.
I think the point then was that
See, you find out something.
you had a budget, you cut out,
Well, it's going back.
let's say a couple things. You cut out a full-time employee, so the obvious solution to fix the budget was to add another full-time employee. It's gonna be hard to find $30,000 or $40,000 of stuff to attract
Oh,
people.
really?
I'm not sure
The
how.
air conditioner goes out on this building, they close that air, do you know what that costs?
Well, air conditioning is supposed to be a capital
Well, I-
expenditure, which
we don't
is supposed to
have
be
a lot
part
of
of the
that.
budget.
We don't have a lot of money.
Well,
This
it's-
ain't Knoxville, this ain't Clinton, this ain't the Follett, this ain't Oak Ridge.
Capital expenditures aren't supposed to be part of the operating budget,
Well,
and that's not part of what, that's
I'm
what
gonna tell the library board, because we've been talking to your boss, and I'm gonna call him back.
No, that,
We're gonna put that in the budget. That remaining money, but it ain't gonna be for another full-time position, is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that,
Part-time like you all said.
I'm just saying that it just needs to be spent, because that's one of the things that they look
Well, what
at.
do you think we'll throw money away? We'll spend it, but what do you think we'll throw it away? Your boss said we.
That's fine, I'm not disagreeing with
He
that.
said use it as needed. It sounds to me like you're the regular state employee, just wants to spend.
Use it as needed for the
They
library.
need to want to put you on these.
Use it as
interstates.
needed for the library.
So like the programs, that money can go
Yeah,
towards
I
the
don't have a
programs?
problem. That's what I've been sitting here for over an hour trying to tell you. but we're
No,
not-
it's not. You just want to argue every point that we have. And what Matthew is trying
I'm
to
not
tell you, but you
arguing.
refuse to understand, is that the money has to be appropriated for the library. His only solution that he can think of to spend every penny that you're supposed to from an MOE is with an additional employee that you have until today refused to hire.
That's true.
Wait, what did she say? She wanted somebody one day a week.
As for the program, I'm gonna put this to, I've spent the last 2 years trying my best to figure out the reports, how to run the library. I haven't been able to even think about hiring anybody else to bring in programming. The board has pushed and pushed and pushed, do programs, do programs, do programs. I tried a weekend of doing programs. I had a lady come in from Chattanooga to read stories. I had 3 kids come into that program. I tried.
But if you have ongoing programs.
Yeah, and how do you advertise for it as well? Because, marketing, all that stuff is gonna go a long
I have to
way.
have time to do that. I'm trying to.
Yeah, and that's where the part-time person can come in.
Ladies, I am trying to learn the reports. I'm trying to learn how to run the library. When I learned completely how to run that library, then I'm gonna pop my little self right into the middle of making any kind of program, every kind of program I can do.
Well, maybe that part-time person can help you with that, so it's
And then
not
I'll
all
have to
on
train
you.
that part-time person, so when am I
Well,
gonna have
maybe
time
if
to
you
do
get
that?
somebody in that really is familiar with creating programs for kids, it won't be such a hard thing to learn. Or somebody that has, an education background, working with children, they could probably take a lot of load off of you and create it. And, kids love all the decorations, help with that. And you could probably get volunteers to help as well. But there's just so much that can be done, especially if that money he's saying is gonna go to the program. I just wanna make sure it goes to helping with the program.
I love the idea that people care so much about the library. I mean, I do. I want that library to flourish just like everybody else. But I've got to know what I'm doing completely before I put responsibility on myself with children. I've got to know this myself.
And one day a
It's
week
taken
sometime.
2 years for training, is that what I
I
understand?
never was trained one time on how to do a report.
Okay, so
All I
I
ever did was the interlibrary loan and check people in and out. I have had to figure out these reports alone.
we have multiple, but one very incredible woman in the community who has her bachelor in library sciences. She is a qualified librarian and she's currently looking for a part-time job while she continues to pursue further education in the field. I'm blown away that it has taken 2 years to understand operating systems and anything further for a library without pulling in a consultant, without hiring a library corporate training coordinator.
The library, the regional library has came in, many of those have come in and helped me through this stuff,
Okay.
and I'm very grateful for them for that. But that is how I have had to learn it, is through calling the region and saying, hey, I don't understand this, walk me through it. That's how I've learned it.
Well, it looks like to me we're all concerned about the library. We're all real concerned about the library. Okay? If we hire somebody, they probably won't have any knowledge of that. I mean, it'd be hard to find
Did
somebody.
you say you know somebody?
Right.
Yeah, I would
Sit
hope
down.
that you would be in a position of hiring someone that's qualified.
Well, I know it might not be easy to find somebody that already knows how to.
She just said that she does.
I agree, I can absolutely
If we
reach
hire
out to
somebody
Morgan and see if
and-
she's
and they
interested,
don't know
but
anything about the library, then, what good is that?
I
Do you
do,
know somebody that can
Do
take
you know somebody that?
I do know somebody that is looking for a part-time position that has her bachelor in library sciences, so she is actually a qualified librarian. But to be quite candid, I'm not exactly sure if it would be that enticing for her to take this position, just because of the fact that it seems like there's kind of an unsteady foundation. So I know how much she loves, obviously, she is going to school to become even more than just a librarian. So hopefully passion will drive her enough, but it's
Ask her to call.
100% I will. If she is in, I will 1,000,000% propose it to her, and I will do my best to ignite something. But I that's up to her at that point. But I will absolutely reach out to her and see if she's
I'm here
got any
at 9 to
interest.
5 every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if we just hire somebody that's not gonna have any background or knowledge in that, I mean, it'd be hard to maybe hire her part-time, I mean, like you say, you might not wanna do it.
Would any funding be available if she were uninterested in a part-time position for whatever reason? Would there be any funding available if you did find somebody who is interested but a little underqualified to then pay her to potentially come in to do some consulting and some accelerated training courses to maybe pick the speed back up? Would that be something that would be
You'll have extra money to
available?
do that.
Because I'm sure if she's either unavailable to take the position or uninterested in the position as a, full part-time position, then I'm sure she would absolutely, I'd be surprised if she didn't want to at least consult.
When can you talk to her?
I will get your information afterwards if you don't mind.
We'll post that, and you, back to the statement, this reason I'm doing this because the press, I get hammered over all this. I'm not wanting to argue with him, I'm just saying, we're not gonna look like we just didn't put this money, because we was told that it had to go with that full-time position. That's all I'm saying. but we didn't want to do that. We wanted to do with basically the part-time position. And we, do we have a second on the part-time position?
No, this is for the adding the money back in.
Adding the money back to
MOE,
that,
To the MOE.
on what your boss said.
Second.
Yeah.
And the money to be spent for the library.
Yes.
Yes. That's it.
When he said as needed,
I'm gonna try on the road. Jim,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
Just a question, was the motion specifically to restore the MOE, hire a 20-hour per week part-time person, and then use the remainder for programming, right?
As needed, like the guy, his boss, now this is him.
Right.
Like I said, this ain't a full-time job, I don't, but she talked to, what's his name?
Mr. Ritter.
Ritter. We can have him at the next week or whatever. Do you know him?
he's the state librarian and archivist, and he's my supervisor.
He said that we can use that money as needed.
The term as needed, I think, he was saying that you've got flexibility in how that gets spent, rather than as needed, you don't have to spend it unless you absolutely have to. I think that's two different.
That sounds real good, right there.
Two different, no, that's not what he meant.
Oh, my bad.
They meant it had
So
to be
he's
spent
saying
on
this-
the library.
Yes.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
what-
Like, the MOE shows your appropriation doesn't go down and your expenditures don't go down. Because it's the same thing, when you budget $100,000, but only really allow $50,000 to be spent, that's the same thing as budgeting $50,000.
So basically what.
When he said as needed, we can clarify with him, but
What's needed in the lane said to spend
it
it.
means that there's flexibility and you wouldn't necessarily have
As
to
long as it's in the
hire
library,
a full-time
other
person.
than personnel.
But not as needed, as in, well, we'll spend it, we'll spend it if we absolutely have
If you
to.
need it to pay a salary, you can use it. If you don't need to pay a salary, you can use it for whatever reason you need to use it for, as long as it's in the library.
I think it,
Library.
Right, that's what I'm
That's what
saying,
it
but that's different than,
I know what
I think it has to be recurring, because like with Caravel, what Caravel was arguing and the state agreed was, in the past, your MOE was artificially inflated by a bookkeeping error of people putting one-time purchases in it. So you can reduce yours because that was an incorrect MOE. By the same token, I don't think you could put this funds toward, say, if the air conditioning broke or something, and it would count, because that would be a one-time expense.
So basically, you're saying it's gonna be hard to spend $40,000 a year in a library?
Without hiring an additional employee,
Full-time.
yes. No, part-time, full-time, without any additional employees, it would be difficult to spend upwards of $40,000 in one fiscal
Yeah,
year.
right. But that's the whole thing I try to look at is, we call this part-time person, that's 20 hours a week. I don't know what to pay, we have to come to an agreement on something. But say if that position, maybe, I don't know what the other library pay skills are, or some of y'all might know. Say, I'm just throwing this out there, say that it's 14,000 a year for a part-time. So what money's there available, are you saying we have to spend that?
In the library, yes.
But if you have good programs and stuff
Yeah.
going year-round, that money could easily be spent for
Well, that's
that
the only
kind
way I
of
can
stuff.
see the city can do anything. And we ain't got the money to put that programming money and that full-time salary.
We don't want full-time, it's just part-time.
I understand, don't even think about that, but I'm just saying, if we hire another full-time person, we can't put $30,000 more in that library.
Nobody has disputed the fact that you don't need a full-time.
Yeah.
Two
But that's
full-time.
what-
We're not
that's-
disputing that with you.
All right,
Do you
that's
understand
not-
that much?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why.
maybe if you ladies or something silent back in there, you know, library and stuff, could some of y'all help us out and volunteer a little bit to help us?
Sometimes in colleges, like people that are going through to, early education programs, sometimes they need places to get, for their schooling, like, kind of like clinicals. You could reach out to some of these colleges, and they would be able to come in and help with the program, and it would go towards, you know, their education. And that's free money right there, and that's extra hands-on for programs.
But, you know, when we get kind of situated here and get it right.
Does the press ever
we might
understand
need some
any of
help.
Because I don't want that to go out in the paper and everybody start bringing my pay stuff, and I'm out to close the library, I get tired of hearing.
I think in order for the MOE to be met, I think all that money has to be spent. And is that like not so much like it had like that 90 whatever figure?
Or is that your job or his? If we put this money back in this budget, and we're gonna make a motion to take applications for a part-time, we're on the same page now. Well, does that satisfy the MOE?
It just needs to be spent.
Well, I guess we just, I don't know how you're gonna spend.
Well, it sounds like the money to pay the 20-hour per week person, and then whatever's remaining just has to be spent on something in the library, whether it's,
We're gonna be spending it on programs for kids. I mean, are
Yeah.
we doing
Then
that?
you're going to have 20,000, 25,000 left over to do these programs.
right.
And that person can, you know, figure out the budget of what they want to run.
That could easily be spent in a
Well, these
year.
programs don't cost
No
money.
kidding.
I mean, you know,
No.
we'll be using them
I do a
for
lot of
programs
children's
for kids.
programs.
I mean,
Once a year, I do one that's pretty big.
Yeah, for sure.
It,
That's been the confusion with this, and me, myself, now, I don't know about you guys, but if we would replace Dan's position, it would have shot our budget back up to say 90,000. You wouldn't have the money
is there a sense
for
of
that. Do
how?
you see my point on that? Do you see where I'm coming?
Well, the county also supplies $9,500 for each
That ain't
library.
much, is it? I mean,
Well, but it goes toward materials and programming and that kind of thing, so there is some extra funds there.
but that was another thing, if all these people's coming in from the county back to that, we're not getting cost of it, every compensated something.
I'm sorry, what?
We need to be compensated something from the county of all the people's coming into the city library. Would you agree?
I will say that every county's libraries evolve differently.
I tell you what I wished the county would do it, have a county library, and us just give so much money each city to it.
I think that's a conversation that could be had,
I wish to God they
but
would.
that has to be an effort. That's a long, to undo 70 years of how things have come to be in Campbell County is a big conversation with all the stakeholders, and would take time. In the meantime, we have the MLE keeping things in place, but if that's a conversation that county wants to have, that the city wants to have, I don't know what everybody feels about it.
I think
But the way it's evolved now is that your city libraries, it's a county board, but most of the funding comes from the individual cities. I don't know how that came to be in decades past, but that's how it is. In other counties, like Granger County, it's all county funded. And then in Jefferson County, it's kind of a split. And the cities take care of the buildings and give extra contribution to the county library board. There's a real range of ways that, and I can't explain the history of, that's 50, 60, 70 years ago, how these things got set in motion, and that's kind of how they are now. So if you're going to make a big change, it has to be kind of a big conversation that takes some time.
Maybe this, I don't know. We'll go with it at that, so we can put that, we voted to put that back in there. Right? You're gonna talk to your friend about a part-time job. Do we have a motion to take the application?
I'll make a motion.
Is this job listing gonna be able to be written by GAFA and the board,
Not this board.
the library board?
Yes, you do all, right? whatever, everybody goes.
Mark,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
When will it be posted? Do you have an estimated turnaround time?
Ask Kate, that's her department, I don't
Would
know.
you be able to estimate about when?
As soon as I can get with these ladies and talk to them.
Okay.
So you all want to take care of that? Anything else?
Does a full-time position cost more to the city than what's in the operating budget? Like,
What was it with the benefit?
like
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
benefits and
Did you figure it out?
social security and everything like that, that's beyond what's in the library budget. So if you hire a full-time person, it costs you more than what you actually put in the library budget. Is that how it works?
Well,
Add it all together.
Is that,
that's what I was thinking, at all.
is that what you're
Wages and
getting?
benefits are added together into the library portion.
Is that, okay. Okay.
Does anybody have anything else, just make sure, because, so you all, the library board's gonna write up, for this part-time job, what you think it needs to be.
We will work with Gaitha to
And
get
she-
it
okay.
written
Work
and
with
published.
her.
Yes,
Can you all help her with some programs?
absolutely. I think the caveat that's been happening so far is that she's not had the available help to do so. So, you know, we can show her or help her or make suggestions all day long, but if she doesn't have the physical means to help, it doesn't really do much good moving it forward. But if she's gonna have somebody, then we can absolutely offer our help, you know, however we can assist her that as a board, then we'll absolutely do that because we do it for every library in the county.
Anything else? You got here late.
Yes, it is.
You want to say anything?
Not yet.
Well, you better say now, because I'm getting ready to adjourn it, because we've done several.
Well, then I'll read about it in the paper, I guess.
No, you got a chance to talk.
Well, I don't know what's been said. I'll catch up. We'll catch up.
And putting out a posting for a part-time position.
You good with that? I make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.